both in tonight's programme. A police force refers itself to the IPCC over its handling of sex abuse claims against Jimmy Savile and his friend. We're live in Scarborough with the latest. Middlesbrough pupils may be sent to secondary school earlier following a damning Ofsted report. Police in York search the river for another missing person. A grieving mum speaks out. And on Redcast Seafront, could it be curtains for an historic cinema?
In sport, it's a foul, but no penalty points for Sunderland. And owner Mike Ashley is the target of angry Newcastle fans once again, as the Magpies prepare to face David Moyes and Manchester United.
A police force has announced it has referred itself to its own watchdog over how it dealt with child sex abuse claims against Jimmy Savile and his friend, the former mayor of Scarborough, Peter Giaconelli. North Yorkshire Police's handling of the allegations will now be examined by the IPCC. It follows an investigation by the BBC's Inside Out programme into Peter Giaconelli. This afternoon, the leader of Scarborough Council says he wants his authority to vote on whether Giaconelli, who died in 1999, should be posthumously stripped of his title of mayor. Phil Chapman is live in Scarborough for us tonight. Phil.
Well, Carol, it's not too many years, is it, since these two men, Jimmy Savile and Peter Giaconelli, were much-loved local figures around here. Much has changed since Jimmy Savile was brought here and laid to rest in 2011, and now even the North Yorkshire Police investigation into Savile and his known associates is under scrutiny. The decision by North Yorkshire Police to refer itself for investigation comes just weeks after a BBC Inside Out investigation into online claims that Peter Giaconelli was a paedophile. After that, the police said they wanted to speak to at least 5 people who say they were assaulted or propositioned as children by Giaconelli. An online blog called Real Whitby told Inside Out it had heard from a number of alleged victims who claimed they were abused. And today the man behind the blog is sceptical about the police referral.
I regard it as a positive development. I have scepticism about how much we can rely on the IPCC to do a job. After all, everybody knows that most of the IPCC personnel are former police officers, and there is no doubt in my mind that there has been at least a 2-generation cover-up of this Giaconelli situation. It's something I've known about since I was a 9-year-old boy. Everybody in Scarborough is aware of it, and yet for some reason Scarborough Borough Council has lavished civic honours on Jimmy Savile and Peter Giaconelli, arguably the 2 most prolific paedophiles in the country.
Trevor Harrington was 11 when he worked for Giaconelli. He said Giaconelli assaulted him in his van and that what was going on was well known in Scarborough. He gave his reaction to the IPCC referral from Australia today.
It was widely known in Scarborough, so I would say that if the police force didn't know about it, then they must have been the only people in Scarborough that didn't know about it, and it's a bit of a bad reflection on them.
After I'd told the police officer what had happened, he said that he believed what I'd told him. He was aware of similar stories, but that Peter Giaconelli, Councillor Giaconelli, was a town councillor, a county councillor, I think. He ran a judo club, he was a businessman, and he was a pillar of Scarborough society, effectively.
Well, Woodland Cemetery here in Scarborough is the final resting place of these 2 men. Jimmy Savile is buried in a pauper's grave, an unmarked pauper's grave, and Giaconelli is named as Alderman Peter Giaconelli on his headstone. And now people on both sides of the world are calling for him to be stripped of all civic links to the area.
I am surprised it didn't come out much earlier, but I'm now very pleased it has come out, and I think we should move forward. We can have sympathy with the family remaining of Giaconelli, but I think we've got to have greater sympathy with the victims of sexual abuse.
Well, we can tell you tonight the very latest on this, and in the last couple of hours there's a motion that's been brought forward by the leader of Scarborough Borough Council to discuss the alderman status of Giaconelli as a matter of urgency. Back to you.
Thank you, Phil. Children in Middlesbrough could be sent to